Okay, class. For this lecture, no, we will proceed directly to Module 6 because the topic under Module 5 has already been discussed. We're already been discussed in the lecture video in our Module 4. Yes, the stages of commission of the crimes. So we already discussed that topic. So if you want to review, you just watch or rewatch if you have watched it already, our discussion in our module 4 lecture video. Okay, so for module 6 we will discuss light felonies, conspiracy, and proposal to commit a felony. Okay, based on the title alone, we can have a very easy discussions. No, I will just fast track discussing module 6, module 7. I'll also have module 8 because I really want to focus on module 9 to 13. I think that is the more important topics that you as criminology students should know, no? The circumstances affecting crimes. But we need to browse through the core syllabus and finish our discussion based on the approved topics provided by us. Provided to us. Okay. So again, let's discuss what light felonies, conspiracy, and proposal to commit a felony. Okay. When we say light felonies, this refers to those infractions. When we say infractions, violations. Okay. Another tip that I want you to learn, or this is not a tip, this is a guide. In the study of law, no, even in a pre-law course, no, such as criminology, you will encounter several terms that are quite new to you. So you need to look it into your dictionaries. So for those people who have smartphones, no, you can easily download Merriam-Webster or any other dictionaries or dictionary applications, so that it can be your guide in understanding several terminologies that are quite new to you, such as infractions. Okay, so infractions are really also means violations. Okay, so these are violations of the law for a commission of a penalty of arresto minor. Later on, you will know that there are categories of penalties. No, we have light penalties, we have capital punishments, and these penalties corresponds to a felony. So if it is punished by a light penalty, then these are the crimes considered as light felonies. So if these are grave offense, then capital punishments. Okay, or the penalty is heavier. Okay, so the duration of imprisonment is longer. Okay, so light felonies, light penalties. Your syllabus also provides an example or examples of felonies under the revised penal code which are considered light, such as light physical injuries, theft, alterations of boundary marks, malicious mischiefs, intriguing against honor. So these are the few examples of light felonies. So when you proceed to criminal law 2, then those crimes will be discussed. But for the time being, you just need to know that there are what we call light felonies, and those are the example of light felonies. As mentioned earlier, that light felonies are those punishable by arresto minor. So arresto minor is imprisonment of 1 day to 30 days. Okay, so those are light penalties. Or arresto minor is an example of light penalties. Okay, which punishes light felonies. It's quite self-explanatory. Okay, so now sorry. Okay. Now, let's proceed to conspiracy to commit conspiracy and proposal to commit felony. When we say conspiracy, one of the I think the most important thing for you to understand or to remember is that it can be committed by two or more persons. Okay, there is no such term as conspiracy if there is only one individual involved in the commission of the crime. It should involve two or more persons. Okay, the two or more persons have a meeting of the mind, no, meaning they are in agreement to do or to commit a felony, and that decided to commit them and decided to commit it. Meaning, if person A, B decided to murder someone, okay, and they decided to do it, no, they agreed and decided to do it, then there is what we call conspiracy to commit murder. However, as you will know later on, that not all conspiracy are considered felony or considered as or are punishable under the law. For example, conspiracy to commit murder, that is not punishable under the law. Okay, so if A and B decided to kill C and they have decided only but they have not performed any overt acts, okay, overt acts, positive acts, or any actions that will lead to the murder or to the killing of C, then A and B cannot be held liable for conspiracy to commit murder. Okay? Again, conspiracy can be made only if there are two or more persons who are in agreement to commit a felony and decided to do it. That is felony. On the other hand, proposal is the proposal to commit a felony happens when one person decided to commit a felony and proposes its execution to some other person or persons. So again, proposal to commit felony, it does not mean that there is an agreement between two or more persons. What is more important in proposal to commit felony is that one individual decided to commit there is one individual who decided to commit a felony and proposes it to another in person or persons. Okay, it does not mean that the person who that individual it does not mean, or it is not a requirement in the law that the person who were presented with that proposal agrees to the proposal for it to be considered as proposal to commit felony. It is already considered proposal to commit a felony if that person who decided to commit the felony proposes it to another person, regardless if that person agrees to it or not. Okay, so okay, you can read the requisites of conspiracy, a felony, or requisites of proposal to commit felony, but I already explained those. Those are just very simple, no? Even if without you understanding or memorizing the requisites, I don't require you to remember all these requisites. For requisites to commit felony, there are three. There are for requisites for conspiracy, there are also three. You don't need to remember all those, no, as long as you understood, no, the concept of conspiracy and proposal to commit felony. That is good enough for me. Okay, now I just would like to highlight, no, for the conspiracy to commit felony, there are generally two kinds. First, conspiracy as a felony and conspiracy as a manner of incurring criminal liability. Okay, how do I explain this? Okay, conspiracy as a felony, I have a difficulty, no, because I want my explanation to be as simple as possible, because I don't expect you to understand the intricacies and the complexities of jurisprudence defining what is conspiracy. So I want you to understand it in a very simple manner. So that is the reason why I take time to think on the examples that I will present to the class. Okay. Again, there are two types of conspiracy. First, conspiracy as a felony, and the second type is conspiracy as a manner of incurring liability. Again, conspiracy, no? Again, the definition is that two or more person decides to commit a felony. No, there are two or more person who are in the agreement, or who agrees to commit a felony and decided to commit it. Okay, so that is the basic definition of conspiracy. Now, when we say conspiracy as a felony, if the felony, okay, if the felony that the two or more person decides to commit is one of those felonies considered by law to be punishable, even if they only conspired, no, even if they merely conspired to do such act, they are already considered punishable under the law. Okay, meaning, as I said earlier, no, for example, we go back to our example, the conspiracy to commit murder. Under the law, the mere conspiracy to commit murder is not punishable. Okay, the act of conspiring, of killing someone, is not punishable by law. Now, there are instances, or there are specific crimes that the mere conspiration, the mere act of conspiring to do such criminal act is already a felony, or considered punishable under the law. Okay, now, what are the example? Conspiracy to commit treason, okay, rebellion, insurrection. More of the crimes under Title 1, National Security, no, of the Book 2, no. These are the crimes defined under Book 2 of criminal law. So if, for example, someone conspire to commit treason, even if they have not performed any overt or positive acts of treason, they are already liable under the law, because the law punishes the mere act of conspiring to commit treason. Okay, so that is what we mean when we say conspiracy as a felony. Now, conspiracy as a means of incurring liability, or as a manner of incurring liability. Okay, now we go back again to our example of murder, no? Person A and B conspired and decided to commit murder. They wanted, or they agreed to kill C. Okay, now, in killing, it was only B. Okay, it was only B who shoot C. So using a gun, so they shoot. B shot C. No, B shot C using a gun. But A and B are in agreement to kill C. Even if it was only B who killed, or who committed the physical acts of murder, or the physical act of killing, the pulling of the trigger of the gun, both A and B are liable under the law. Okay, they are both liable because they are considered to be principal by direct participation. They are considered, no, by law to conspire against each other. So the mere act of conspiring will make you criminal liable. Okay, so that is what we conspiracy as a manner of incurring liability means. Okay. Okay, so that's it for module 6.